baby, that man is not attracted to you because of how much weight you've gained. And he's not attracted to you because of how much anxiety you have. Okay, let's just be honest. Both of those things are probably coming from his ass and his actions any fucking way. So you allow him to go out here and file for that fucking divorce, okay? Because it's probably going to be the best thing that ever happened to you, okay? Because nobody needs a man that is probably so far out of tune with his own sexuality that he has to treat a woman like this, okay? So you...
Yeah, guys, you are not allowed to have any standards whatsoever. Women... these modern women are so fragile, they can't handle the fact that a guy actually values himself and has standards.
Allow him to go out here and file for that fucking divorce, okay? And in the meantime, okay, what you're going to do is you're going to live your life after divorce, okay? And when the time comes, okay, because they always spin the block, and I don't know if you know what that means or not, but when he sees that anxiety is lifting up off of you because he's no longer in your life anymore, and that weight shedding because you're happy, baby, he will spin the block, which means come back. And he's going to want to come back, okay? And that's whenever you hit him with not. Because you was sleeping on me then, you can stand on that now, all right? And don't you ever let nobody out here make you feel like you unattractive. You better own that shit. Don't ever allow nobody to make you feel like you ain't beautiful out here.
All right. So she is responding to a comment that she got from looks like a 50-year-old woman who's saying, my husband is wanting a divorce because he is tired of being married to me because he is not attracted to my weight. Bad anxiety right now. So her advice to her is to tell her to lose the weight and to give her husband the finger. And this is just proof that these women give terrible, terrible advice. Because this female, being in her 50s, even if she were to take her advice, lose the weight, give her husband the finger, what would she do then? You know what she would do? Simple. She would either get on these dating apps and compete with women who are 30 years younger than her, get ignored by guys that don't love her the way her husband does, or she would go out to the venues and compete against women who are 20 years younger than her and meet guys that have no interest in her and would never love her the way her husband loves her. So this is just more proof that, you women, no matter what age you are, you never want to take advice from other women, especially other women who are divorced, especially other women who are your age, because especially at 50, these women become more masculine, less feminine, louder, more mouthy, more disrespectful, more belittling towards men, more resentful, more angry, more hateful. And you could see it in this woman's rant, right? I mean, the advice she's giving her is just so horrible, because all that's going to happen is she's just going to end up miserable like she is, right? Because obviously this chick is full of anger, full of hostility, full of just dark sarcasm that... just look at her. I mean, is this somebody that you feel like you would want to jump into a relationship with? Right? I mean, is this somebody you would even want to boink on the side? No, right? Not if you have to hear her mouth. Not if you have to hear her, just rant the way she does. But the advice that I would give this woman who's saying that her husband is wanting divorce because she, her weight, she's not attracted to her weight, I would say, well, how about you lose some weight, okay? But also, too, if he's gained weight too, then you could point that out to him too, like, hey, you've gained weight too. How about we do this together? How about we lose weight together? How about we work on this together, okay? And what is it beyond my weight that you're not attracted to that I can work on? Right? Because, really, that's something that, when you address your husband's concerns, just like you would address anybody's concerns, and you show them that you're actually listening, that goes a long way. Okay? It goes a long way versus putting your ego first and being in ego protection mode because who hurt you? Because you've been hurt so much, like this broken female who was just giving her terrible, horrible advice. Obviously, she's been hurt by guys that she chose, And now she's trying to tell this woman, just screw him, give him the finger, lose that weight, and then you go show him. I mean, all that talk is just really, it's coming from insecurity and ego protection, right? That's all that is, like ego protection and insecurity. But a sound mind, as mine, would tell her, like, hey, you've been married to this guy, what, 30 years probably, right? When did you get married? Probably in the 80s. So obviously you have a lot of memories. You probably have children together. Maybe you could get your children involved in this too and just make this a family thing and try to work on your relationship together, right? And that's why I said, ask your husband, like, is that the only thing? Tell your husband that you are going to work on your weight and you're going to drop this weight as quick as you can because you want to keep your marriage together. But obviously ask him, like, is there something else that I can work on? And if he's overweight too, then you could point that out as well. Just like, he can't be a hypocrite and be like, well, I gained 50 pounds, but you can't be gaining this weight. You should expect to keep yourself up, right? He should expect to keep himself up too if he's going to expect that from you. However, you want to address his concerns, not just cut the cord with him because, oh my God, how dare you question my weight? How dare you tell me I'm not beautiful? But that's something that happens with these married women. The second they get married, they chop off all their hair and they put on a bunch of weight. Okay, that's usually the first thing they do. And then I always tell these, tell these ladies, you can't do that, right? Because your husband is a guy. Guys are visual. We're visual creatures. You can't just chop off your hair and put on a bunch of weight. I don't know how many girlfriends I've had to tell in the past that the second we got in a relationship, they're talking about like cutting off their hair. Just it's easier. I'm like, do not chop off your hair. You chop off your hair, we're going to have some issues because that is not what I signed up for. Okay? Don't put on 50 pounds either while you're dating me. Okay? Because that is not what I signed up for. Okay, that you're doing a bait and switch if you do that at that point. So maybe she was thinner in the past and she needs to drop that weight. And you can do it. Okay, I would encourage her, like, hey, you could drop that weight, honey. You can do it. And, ask your husband, like, is there anything else that's within reason? And obviously if he needs to lose weight, he needs to lose weight too. You hold him accountable as well. Right? But the last thing you do is divorce your husband. Especially being married as long as you have at 50 years old. And I would be honest with her too. Like, if you think you're going to go like lose this weight and then cut the cord with him and go out there and join, Hinge or any of these other apps, or Match.com or whatever it is, and replace him, you are surely mistaken because you are going to be miserable trying to replace him on these apps. And all you're going to do is get guys who are going to not love you the way your husband did, but just use you for your body. Do you want that to happen? Of course not. So do not listen to these broken females giving terrible advice. Her eyes are like all blackened out here too. I mean, it's just very kind of satanic looking. But regardless, let's go to the next clip, shall we?
He's not going to change, is he? No, babe. He's not going to change. You gotta leave. I'm going to have to start all over again, aren't I? Yes. Yes, you are. But what if he does? He won't. He won't. He's not gonna. But what if he does?
Well, this is what happens when you marry the bad boy or you marry dudes out of your league. I don't know if that is exactly her problem, but she's saying up here words I heard many times coming in terms of the fact that I need to leave my verbally and narcissistically abusive husband who I deeply loved. Well, yeah, it's hard to know without knowing more of the story, but I just hear way too many modern women out there, crying about how their husbands or ex-husbands are narcissistic, and 99% of the time, their version of him being narcissistic is the dude not giving them what they want. Is not like getting down on both knees and kissing the ring. I mean, that's their definition. Oh, he was a narcissist. He wouldn't buy me the new BMW SUV. Oh, he was a narcissist. He wouldn't kowtow to me in my corporate job. No, that's not narcissism. But regardless, let's go to the next clip here. Okay, one more clip.
If you are going through a divorce with a narcissist.
A narcissist. Here we go again. How is it that all these modern women are their ex-husbands are narcissists?
They are going to do everything in their power to make your life a living hell.
Because he's not giving you exactly what you want. He's not complying with your every demand, so he's a narcissist. You notice that too, fellas. Like, if you meet a chick and she tells you that her last ex was a narcissist, red flag. Same thing with her going, oh, I had to get a restraining order on my ex. Red flag. Not for the dude, not for that dude, but it's usually her. It's usually more reflective of her.
And I know this firsthand, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Mine took like 2.5 years. You want to know the only reason why it came to a halt?
Why?
Because he would have kept fighting. We have 3 kids together.
Uh-huh.
You know, and I'm not going to drop names or careers or anything like that. The only reason why I do this and to start this TikTok and why I started making TikToks is I can help other women because...
Oh, because you're not a narcissist, he is.
I've been through a lot of shit,
Uh-huh.
and I hate to see other women stay with shitty men.
Oh, yeah, because she's definitely not a crappy woman, right? She looks like I'm sure she's just virtuous and just a pleasant, virtuous, giving, nurturing, feminine woman, right? These narcissistic men.
You know, I had to end up getting a lawyer because he wasn't being fair. Excuse me, he wasn't being fair.
He wasn't giving me his house, the car, and all of his money. He wasn't being fair, that narcissist.
You know, oh, you don't deserve any part of our house, which it was 50-50 because it's Arizona. Got really mad when I said I was going to get a lawyer to help me because I was stressed out and I wanted to make sure that me and my kids got everything that we needed and whatever. The only reason why it stopped is because one day I had the brilliant idea because I have the amazing boyfriend I have.
She's going through a divorce and she has a boyfriend. Yeah. She's not the narcissist, he is.
Money is not an issue for him or me. So and I know not everybody could do this, and I wish you could because it's brought me great peace. But I literally one day was just like, look, I will drop child support, which for 3 kids is about $1,300 a month.
Mm-hmm.
I will drop child support. Just give me full custody of what full custody is in Arizona. He still sees them for his allotted time that he chose and the two or so holidays that he chose. He bit that like a piranha. Because narcissists, the reason why they're so angry, they will constantly say, oh my God, I just miss my kids. You took the kids away from me. Oh my God, you're such an evil bitch. Blah.
Yeah, God forbid the guy misses his kids. God forbid he misses his kids.
And they'll do whatever they can to make themselves look like a good dad. But the only reason why they fight so hard and they're so pissed when they're going through that divorce and spiteful of you and they hate you and will try to do everything they can to get a bad reaction out of you to hopefully do something to where they can have the kids more even though they don't want them more and they're not really a good parent. He's not really that great of a father. But it's less money out of his pocket. He was pissed at the fact that he had to, even the thought of child support just pissed him off. So the moment I dropped child support, bam, happy as can be, and he hardly talks to his kids, and that's okay. A lot of times narcissists use kids against you. They use them as pawns. He used to come over here and visit and use the kids to try to sleep with me, and that's going to happen when you're going through a divorce. They're going to try to sleep with you to fuck with your head, always.
Yeah, most of the guys are not sleeping with you to mess with your heads. They're just sleeping with you because they're just like trying to reclaim property, or they're just horny, or you know, they still care about you. Sadly, it's not because they're trying to mess with your head. The only people who do that really are women, And as somebody who has minored in psychology, has read thousands of books on not thousands, but has studied thousands of hours of psychology, and teaches self-development, I will tell you that one big trait of a true narcissist is calling other people narcissists. That is actually a big trait of somebody who is a narcissist like this, is like getting on and just calling like her ex, for example, a narcissist. I would love to hear his side of the story, because I guarantee, like, if we had this dude, like if we saw his little social media, I don't think he would do a social media post like this and talk about his ex-wife this way, because if he did, that would start veering him towards narcissistic tendencies, right? But the fact that she is getting on social media and totally bashing him, right? And that is something that narcissists will commonly do, is they will run a smear campaign. That is a very, very common narcissistic trait, is to run a smear campaign on somebody that you don't like, or an ex, right? You probably had exes who did that to you too, like totally bashing you. And you might think, man, I was good to this chick. Man, I remember I even helped her with some money one time. I remember I picked her up like late somewhere. I helped her with this. Oh my gosh, I helped her with move her furniture and all this. Oh, I helped her with this family member who was a drunk. You might think back on all these things like, why is she bashing me? That's what narcissists do. I have no doubt that this chick is self-projecting, because everything that narcissists do are a self-projecting. They self-project exactly what they are doing. And one thing that, another common trait about people who are narcissistic is they have low self-awareness, okay? They have low self-awareness. So the fact that she cannot see, that she is describing herself to a T, talking about how, because for him, it's all about the money. It's all about the money, the little miser. It's all about the money. But you know who are the cheapest creatures on the planet? It ain't men. It's women, right? It's women. Yeah, they won't reach in their purse and loan you a quarter unless they could charge you, 30% interest. I mean, they are the cheapest creatures on the planet. And so the fact that she was saying he was gloating at the fact when she dropped the child support, I bet he was mostly gloating. He wasn't even gloating over that fact. He probably just wanted peace. He didn't want to have to deal with all that. He just wanted a clean break. And she's just blowing it out. She's really self-projecting onto him like, oh, see, it was about the money. It was about the money. But for her, obviously, it's about the money for her, because she is the one who filed for child support when she blatantly said in the beginning that both of us are financially doing well. She said that in the beginning. Money is not a problem for either of us. That means both of them financially, they're not struggling. They're not living paycheck to paycheck. They've got, they've got a savings. So the fact that she went after him should tell you everything you need to know. Well, I need the child support, and I want the full custody, and I want this. And he just wanted something fair, just knowing how guys are. So God forbid that this guy didn't want to get rammed, in divorce court. And he wanted something more fair. But no, narcissist. This guy's a narcissist. And the reason why I just don't believe these women anymore is because I've heard the same story over and over for so long, right? I've heard the same story of these chicks talking about how dude was a narcissist. I mean, you've heard it too. How many women have you dated in the past that have said, oh, my ex, you're like, why did you break up? He was a narcissist. And then you got to know that chick and you were like, man, this chick is pretty narcissistic, man. Right? Right? I mean, even my ex from way back when, this chick, I remember she called me a narcissist once, and I was like, wait a minute, aren't you the one that has photos of yourself next to your bed? I mean, this chick literally had framed photographs of herself, nobody else in the photo, mind you, just herself next to her bed in her studio apartment. She had photographs of herself, yet she was like, there's a narcissist. I'm like, okay, sure. Sure. I was like the one who was listening to her and trying to, keep an open dialogue, and she was always the one like stonewalling. That's another thing narcissists do. They stonewall, right? They just don't want to be held accountable for anything, so they just run away, or they just like no. They stonewall, right? So that was something she commonly did too. And I was like, okay, tell me how I'm a narcissist. Tell me like what are the signs that you're seeing that I'm a narcissist. I like to have these debates, right? I'll debate anybody, and she couldn't name anything. Oh, because you say this, you say that. I'm like, that's not being narcissistic. That's just telling you when you're wrong, right? That's just telling you that you're wrong about something and giving you factual evidence to back it up. That's not being narcissistic, dude. But you know what? Putting photos of yourself by your, framed photos of yourself right next to your bed so you can look at yourself, taking massive selfies, not being able to leave your mirror and like obsessing over every little hair, and self-projecting and having low self-awareness, those are definitely traits of narcissism. So I just don't believe these chicks anymore. When they say their ex-husband or ex-boyfriend was a narcissist, 99% of the time, they are the ones who are narcissistic. But as always, gentlemen, drop your comments below. Let me know what you think of tonight's coaching video. Anything you'd like to add, anything you'd like to share, drop them in the comments below, please. As always, this is M from the 33 Secrets signing out. Don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe button, and notification bell as well. Helps me out a ton with the YouTube algorithm. Also, jump into 7 months to mastery. Below, right now it's only $1 for the entire first month of coaching lessons from me. It's the best way to support my work, so click that link below. It will take you over to my website where you can get signed up right now. Just takes 2 seconds, so do that now. And I'll see you in my next coaching video. I'm out.